Hey everybody, thanks for joining and watching our Bible study this week. We are in Bible school, so we haven't been able to get together for our Bible study this week, but I felt like I needed to record kind of my lesson, I guess, that God sent me, and I wanted you guys to be able to participate in it. And so I was going to record it. I'm in the sunroom. Boys are still in the bed for now. We'll see how long that lasts. But God gave me this lesson, and I actually did it in Bible school last night with my class. But there's so much in this story, in this lesson, that I wanted to share it with you all as well, especially since we weren't going to get to have an in-person Bible study this week due to Bible school. So if you are watching this, thank you. I'm very grateful for your support, and as always, all I want you guys to see is Jesus. Don't look at me, don't see me. Just see him, because that's all that it's about anyway. So our theme this week is searching for the one. And when Reagan came up with that theme, he was, thinking the 99 sheep or the 100 sheep, you lose one, you have 99, and you go searching for them. And the way that I kind of saw that theme is different stories in the Bible of people searching for Jesus. Not necessarily the sheep in the story that he saw, but when different people of the Bible went searching for Jesus. So Sunday night, our first night's lesson was our Christmas lesson, and the kids were like, we're doing Christmas in July, but it worked out perfectly. We did the wise men and the shepherds, and they were searching for Jesus, and we talked about them. And when they did find Jesus, what did they do? Well, of course, they brought him gifts, they worshiped him. And then how can we search for Jesus? That was our Sunday night lesson. And then last night's lesson was the story of the woman with the issue of blood. And if you're not familiar with that story, that's what we're going to read and talk about today. So if you have your Bibles or you're just listening, we're going to be in the book of Matthew, and it's chapter 9. And I'm going to clean my glasses, and I don't have good lighting out here, so just bear with me. It's still kind of sun's up, but it's not really bright yet. All right, Matthew chapter 9, verses 18 through 26. And what has happened is Jesus is on his way to heal Jairus' daughter. And we'll go through it, and then we'll talk as we go through it. So Matthew 9, starting in verse 18. While he spake these things unto them, behold, there came a certain ruler and worshipped him, saying, My daughter is even now dead, but come and lay thy hand upon her, and she shall live. And Jesus arose and followed him, and so did his disciples. And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him, and touched the hem of his garment. For she said within herself, If I may but touch his garment, I shall be whole. And Jesus turned him about, so he turned around, and when he saw her, he said, Daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith hath made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. And when Jesus came into the ruler's house, and saw the minstrels and the people making a noise, he said to them, Give place, for the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn. But when the people were put forth, he went in, took her by the hand, and the maid arose, and the fame hereof went abroad into all the land. So he was on his way to heal Jairus' daughter because she was dead. And Jairus was coming to find her because he thought that, he knew that Jesus could heal her. But the woman with the issue of blood is what I really want to focus on. 12 years. For 12 years, this woman bled. That's a really, really long time. And it's like I told the kids in class last night, most of them aren't even 12. So that would be your entire life. You have a bleeding issue, which, in their minds, they didn't really understand. I said, okay, let's pretend you have a nosebleed for 12 years. Your nose is bleeding for 12 years. And that kind of helped them to understand it a little bit better. But what did that woman have to do? All she had to do was reach out and touch the hem of his garment. She did not touch him. She touched his clothing and just the edge of it. She didn't even have to, touch the whole outfit. Just the edge of his garment is all that she had to touch. And she was healed. And she said within herself, so she told herself, if I can just touch his garment, I know he's going to heal me. And how many times if we tell ourselves, if I can just do blah, if I can just do this, I know I'm going to be okay. If I can just make it to Friday, I'm going to be okay. If I can just make this next $100, I know I'm going to be okay. And we spend our whole life just trying to get to that next thing, that next degree, that next certificate, that next promotion, the next paycheck. We're always just trying to get to that next step. But is that what we need to be doing? And we're going to get there. But before anything, Jesus turned around and said, your faith has made you whole. It healed her. So she was right. All she had to do was touch him, and Jesus immediately healed her. She was made whole from that hour. All right, I'm going to flip over to Luke chapter 8 and verse 43. Luke chapter 8, verse 43. And it's like I explained to the kids last night. We're reading the same story in two different books of the Bible because Matthew and Luke were both disciples. They both followed Jesus. They both went with Jesus. So it's two different views of the same story. And it would be like, if me and Gary both went to Tractor Supply and we ride in the same car together, we get there together, we walk in and shop together, we walk around together, we check out together, we come home together. But if somebody said, hey, what'd they have at Tractor Supply today? I'm going to talk about the baby chickens or the baby ducks or the dog toys that they had, or maybe the new porch decorations that I looked at. And Gary's going to talk about, well, they had, the big ratchet straps on sale, or he's going to talk about the big gun safe that they had on clearance that I probably didn't even realize was there, because we're both looking at different things, but we're in the same place. So kind of the same thing with the disciples. They were together, two different viewpoints. All right, let's keep going. Luke 8, verse 43. And a woman having an issue of blood 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any, came behind him and touched the border of his garment, and immediately, her issue of blood stanched. It stopped. It was gone. And Jesus said, who touched me? When all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, Master, the multitude throng thee and press thee, and sayest thou, who touched me? And Jesus said, somebody hath touched me, for I perceive that virtue is gone out of me. And when the woman saw that she was not hid, she came trembling and falling down before him. She declared unto him before all the people for what cause she had touched him, and how she was healed immediately. And he said unto her, Daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace. And Luke has a different view, and there's some important things that Matthew didn't mention that Luke has mentioned. She'd spent all of her living upon physicians. So she had spent every dime, all her living, everything that she had going to doctors, doctor after doctor after doctor, trying to find healing, and none of them could heal her. The doctors couldn't do anything for her. And when we have sickness, when we aren't feeling well, who do we trust? We're going to the doctors and we're saying, okay, Dr. John, can you help me with this? It's bothering me. I've been sick. For 12 years, I've had this problem. And I can see her just going from place to place, town to town, doctor to doctor. Well, maybe this doctor's going to tell me something new, knowing full and well that she's not going to find answers. But she knew a man that could heal her. And then she came up behind Jesus, so she didn't even confront him. She didn't even come to his face. She came up behind him just to touch. And as soon as she touched the border of his garment, so just the very, very edge, her issue of blood stopped. It stopped. And immediately Jesus was like, hey, somebody just touched me. They're in a big crowd. There's people all over. People are running into each other. It would be like, if you are Black Friday shopping. It's a great analogy. If you're Black Friday shopping and you're waiting in line to get the TV, people are bumping into each other. At least they used to be when I went as a kid. And obviously people are touching you right and left, but Jesus was like, no, somebody has touched me, because he felt his power, that he felt that he had touched somebody, that somebody was healed through him. And the woman came trembling, falling down before him. And she declared before all the people for what cause she had touched him and how she was healed immediately. So she was able to witness to all those people what Jesus had done for her. And I think that is very important, because when Jesus does something for us, we should not keep it to ourselves. We should tell people, because our story, our story of healing, just like in this lady's case, it's going to help somebody else. But maybe there's somebody else that has an issue of blood that needs Jesus, because Jesus could heal them. And if we don't tell and we don't share, other people might not know. And Jesus told her daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace. And it's what I was telling the kids last night. Jesus' clothing is not what healed her. Crawling through the crowd is not what healed her. What healed her is her faith. She knew that if she could touch Jesus, she would be healed. And that's exactly what happened. All she had to do was get close to him and touch the hem of his garment. And she knew, back in Matthew, it says, she said within herself, if I may but touch his garment, I shall be whole. She knew what she had to do. And had she went up to Jesus and shook his hand, she might not have been made whole. She knew that she had to touch his garment, because that's what she had to do. And I feel like times in our lives, God lays something on us, and as crazy as it sounds, that's what it's going to take to find answers or seek healing. He might tell you, okay, I need you to go stand downtown Main Street in front of the courthouse and sing Amazing Grace. Crazy. Okay, it's absolutely, in our earthly, worldly minds, that sounds crazy to have to do that. But if that's what he gives us to do, that's what we should do. And she had to do what she did to get healed. So a couple key points that I kind of wanted to make sure that we see and hear. This woman had spent everything that she had. searching for answers. We do that. We spend time, we spend money. Gosh, at the amount of money that Americans, the people that I know in my circle spend on things for happiness. Touching my own medicine here. We're always looking for the next fix. And not like, that kind of fix, but we're always looking for something that's going to make us feel better, going to make us look better, going to make us skinny, going to make us healthy, going to make our hair shiny, going to make our teeth whiter, make us happy. We're always looking for happiness. We spend everything that we have, but there's only one thing that we need, and that's the only thing that this woman needed, and that's Jesus. That's all that we need to truly be happy. And I don't really know what else to say other than that. That's all that we need. I have shared a lot of my own personal journey throughout these Bible studies and our podcast and everything. And, there was a time in my life when I was searching for happiness, for belonging, to fit in. I was going to school. I was getting every degree I could find. I was wanting to climb the career ladder. And I was just filling a void. It wasn't filling a void, though. Really, it was creating more voids. And it wasn't what I needed to be doing. What I needed to be doing was focusing on Jesus, was focusing on my relationship with Him. But instead, I'd be all right. That'll be there when I'm later, when I'm ready, when I'm done with my career. Jesus will still be there. And of course He would have been, but I needed to be focusing on Him now. And instead of spending my life savings looking to be healed, I should have focused on this a whole lot more. And I'll be honest with you guys, back when I was working full time and focusing on everything else, reading my Bible, nope, nada, none, nothing. The only time I touched my Bible was Sunday mornings when I went to church, and I usually had to find it. I didn't know where it was, didn't know where I left it the week before. Probably was still in my car, might have been in my room, might have been in my closet. And shame on me for that, but that is the truth. And I have to tell you that's the truth, to try to encourage you to not do that. Don't spend all of your money looking for healing. Jesus is all that we need. That's all it's going to take. And we will be healed immediately when we search for and when we seek Jesus. Absolutely. He will heal us. And as soon as we start seeking and searching Jesus, and we find Him, He's already there waiting on us. Once we reach out and grab, there He is. He's going to heal us. He's going to fix us. We just have to have the faith. We have to have that faith, the same faith that this woman had. And we have to know, and we have to believe, and we can't doubt. And I think that's so important for us to really focus on, is not doubting that we need to accept it and just know. I just know if I can reach heaven's thrones, He's going to take care of me. That He's going to take care of me. And this week we've been searching for Jesus, and all of our stories. The story that we're going to do tonight is the friends that had the paralyzed man that they lowered down the rooftop, trying to find Jesus. They couldn't get to Jesus through the door. They had to go a different way. And we're spending all these days, we're looking for Jesus. But what happens when Jesus comes looking for us? And that's our lesson Wednesday night. When Jesus comes looking for us. And there's going to come a time when Jesus comes looking for you. And, you know, you may have already received salvation, and that's absolutely wonderful. But you may be like me, and you were saved when you were younger, and you got so far in left field, you don't even listen to him, you don't hear him, you're not looking for him. But there's going to come a time when he's going to get your attention again. He did me. He came looking for me one night, and, you know, it was up to me whether I was going to accept his calling for my life, or I was going to keep running and have an issue of blood and, you know, stay in my sin for so long. You know, and this woman had it for 12 years. Gosh, I probably had it for 20 years. And we all have an issue of blood, because we all need Jesus's blood. We all need Jesus's blood on us in order to get into heaven. And that's what's so important, that we read his Bible. We read the Bible. We let him talk to us. We let him show us what we need. And we reach out and grab a hold of that garment, and then don't let go. Once you get a hold of Jesus, don't let go of him, because you're going to need him in every single aspect of your life. At least I do. I know that I do. But I'm so grateful that he made me whole. And, you know, I'm very grateful that he has given me the desire and the opportunity to share about him. These little Bible studies wasn't anything that I ever saw myself doing, but that was a calling he put on me last year, and we've been doing it. We've been doing it almost a year now, if not a year. I'd have to look back at the dates. I'm not for sure, but you know, that was something that when he pulled me out of my career, for those of you that don't know, I'm a nurse, but I was an educator, so I was teaching health classes in the high schools, and dearly, dearly loved my job, loved being a teacher, loved the kids, did not ever see myself leaving that career. But he told me, he said, it's time for you to go home and, you know, focus on your family and focus on the things that I need you to do. And again, you know, I was that person that put my career before my relationship with him. And I'm sure that's probably a lot of the reason he pulled me out of my career, was because he knew that I couldn't give him my all if I was working full time. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. We're fine. We have a wonderful life. I wouldn't go back unless God sent me back, which I don't think he's going to. But that being said, it's been amazing to see what God has done in my life. And not just for me, for my kids, for my husband, my whole family has really changed since we took hold of Jesus, since we grabbed that hem of his garment. We're like, we're not letting go. And I really encourage you guys to do that. If you aren't already, definitely do that. Quit spending your life savings looking for a miracle cure when all you need is Jesus. You will be healed. As soon as you get a hold of him, you're going to be healed immediately. So that's all I have. I hope that it helps you. I hope that you can see yourself as the woman with the issue of blood, because I know that I was the woman with the issue of blood. And when I reached out, he healed me. And I hope that you guys can find that too. And I thank you all for joining in. I know it wasn't really long, but you know, there's nobody here to talk to me. It's just me rambling. Dolly's probably not going to talk to us, and the kittens outside are not going to talk. So just me. But as always, I have my prayer wall. See it over there? This is my prayer wall. Those are my prayer requests. Those are some of your all's prayer requests. So if you have anything else you want me to add, I can add those to my prayer wall for you guys. This is my place that I can kind of come and have some peace and quiet and minimize distractions so that I can talk to God. So if you all need anything, feel free to message me, call me, come see me. We're in Bible school this week, so please pray for us. There's a lot at stake. We have several kids that haven't received salvation yet. That we're hoping that God will speak to them this week. One of those kiddos is Isaiah. He's still waiting. He's really been asking a lot of questions, kind of been scared at night. So we're hoping that God will speak to him when he's ready, whenever that may be. Maybe this week, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 6 years. Don't know. But if you guys will pray for Isaiah and his little friend Scout, because they're both just hanging by threads. So we hope that they reach out and grab the garment. So again, thank you guys. I'll close out in prayer, and I hope you'll have a wonderful day. Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for the Bible study that you sent. Thank you for the corner of your garment, Lord, for we know that it's all that it's going to take for us to be healed. Is just to reach out and have that faith like this woman in the story had. Lord, help us to show you wherever we may go. Help us to be lights for you, Lord, and we pray that people see you in us. Lord, let people see you in me, especially in everything that I do, everywhere that I go. I don't want people to see me. I want people to see you. Lord, be with all of the requests on my wall. You know them. I'm not going to name them all off because some of them are private. But Lord, just work your magic, and I know you're going to. You know how to take care of those things. Lord, be with my house and my family and help us to continue to grow and grow stronger in you. Lord, talk to Isaiah, talk to Scout when it's time, and I know that you're going to. Thank you for the Bible study. Thank you for the people that watch our Bible study or that come to our house when they can. Lord, I pray that the stories and the messages and the stuff that you send helps them. Lord, I pray that it touches them in a way that they need to be touched. Thank you for salvation, and thank you for saving me. Amen. Okay, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and stay dry. I think there's more rain coming, and if I can do anything for you guys, just let me know. Thank you all. Bye.